So Emma, what's our topic for today?
It's birthdays! What kind of parties kids do, what we've gone towards, the expense and all that kind of thing.
This episode is called Pass the Parcel. Welcome back to the blanket fort, the hobbit hole, the room of requirement. Pull up a cushion and let's chat about babies, toddlers and under fives. It's a fun, honest, unscripted conversation between a husband and wife. Some wholesome listening to accompany you when you're up at night or feeling lonely or stressed or just need some escape with others who get it. As always, we're your co-hosts on this relentless parenting journey. We have little Lilly and Lola. Lilly who's 4 and Lola who's 6 months. I'm Elliot, the boring one who doesn't have a tattoo.
And I remember, apparently, the fun one because I do have a tattoo.
Well, certainly our friends seem to think it's very exciting that you've recently got your first tattoo.
Yes, people, and especially Lilly, turns out, very excited.
Very briefly, do you want to share what your tattoo is?
Oh, yeah. It's some lilies and some what's commonly known as Lola flowers. Don't ask me their fancy name. I can't remember it now.
No, who knows?
But yeah, some lilies and some Lola flowers on my arm.
Very nice. For your 2 children?
For my 2 children.
Yeah. Well, you can be the designated cool one amongst us with your tattoo over there. And I don't want a tattoo. I've no interest whatsoever.
It's when I was like, oh, it didn't hurt. He's like, I bet it would.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I wouldn't like that. But also, I just don't want one.
He's not that kind of guy.
No, not that kind of guy. Anyway, there's a little something about us. It's parenting achievement time.
Parenting achievement time.
Little segment before we begin where we chat about what fails or stories that we've unlocked recently. Shall we tell everyone about the poo saga?
Oh, the poo saga. I didn't even realise this could be a problem.
Yeah.
And now we're in the trenches with this problem. It's a nightmare. So basically, it's TMI, the whole information. But if you're parents, you get obsessed with your children's bowel movements. It's going to be a whole
story and conversation about poos. So, just heads up.
So Lilly had bad constipation and she did a really hard poo. And since then, she's had a phobia of doing a poo in case it hurts.
We gave her some medicine to try and help.
Yeah. And it has, she's now not constipated. But mentally,
she acts like every poo is
going to be really painful.
Yeah.
And she cries and cries. And this is a child who's been potty trained from 1-year-old, slightly younger, because we did EC from 6 months. Lilly will cry and cry on the potty and be like, I only want to do a wee. And I'm like, okay, just do a wee. And she's like, but I don't want to do a poo. And I'm like,
she has such good bowel control. It's insane.
If she doesn't want to do it, she won't.
Yeah.
And you have to be like, please. I've gone down the route of bribery.
Yeah.
So far she's got a Tiana dress, some aerial shoes, and it's bad parenting. Don't get me wrong.
This whole story, the whole thing is bad parenting. I don't
pretend it's good parenting, but the problem is I really tried the gentle parenting. We looked at a video of how you try and go moo while you're sat on the potty and you put your feet up.
We had some guests around, didn't we? And we went off to the park and you stayed home and I
was there for an hour and a half. They'd gone to the park and come back. She still hadn't done a poo. She was just sat crying on the potty.
Yeah.
I'd had multiple times of her coming on and off the potty and me going, oh, don't worry.
You were trying to sing her a song. You found some stuff online about...
Yeah, we watched a video about how to make poos don't hurt. I tried to make it funny. This is TMI, I did a poo on the potty to show that it's not scary. And she promised me if I did a poo on the potty, she would. Well, did she? No.
And you could understand all this if she was constipated and it did hurt, but we'd actually gone past that point.
Yeah, no longer hurts.
Well, we'd been plying her with this medicine, so they were definitely coming out soft.
I know what I mean. I even gave her Germaloid cream to make sure it's numb so it won't hurt. So I was like, you definitely... But she wouldn't even push because she thought it would hurt. This was the problem.
She has such control that she could sit there and do a little wee and then be like, I'm finished now. And we were like, we can see you need a poo.
Yeah.
And she was stopping herself because she was so scared.
Yeah.
Poor thing. It was it's so difficult as a parent being in that situation, and she's crying because she is so scared.
Anyway, this is a long story. In the end,
I came home, I had to be bad cop, and I wrestled her onto the potty. There was a lot of screaming and crying. Lose massive points for my gentle parenting. no, definitely, this is
Definitely
not the way to
do it. But like at that point, we'd run out of options.
Yeah. And I mean, the problem was it worked. Like, we had a big thrashing around in her room where it was kicking and screaming. She is strong.
She is very strong.
Goodness me.
And then immediately stood up. I was in the room feeding Lola, and she did a big shout, "Mummy, I've done a poo!"
She was so happy.
Now delighted.
Yeah.
Ran in. Come look at my poo. Yeah. Isn't it big?
And
Haven't I done a good job?
I was really worried that this thing would scar her.
Yes.
And we really tried to avoid doing this because we didn't want this to be such a traumatic.
Yeah, we wanted
incident.
it to be like a nice experience. The next poo.
But so afterwards, I was just like trying to be like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I had to force you. I love you, Lily. I'm like.
Yeah.
But, she was immediately just like, this is great. Look, I've done a poo.
Look,
Thank you, Daddy.
Yeah.
I've done. I was just
completely
like,
fine.
And I was there like.
I was so annoyed because I was
drained.
like, I've been there trying to do this nicely for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like I've been so patient and it just hasn't worked. And then you're there for 5 minutes after wrestling her on the potty and she does it. And I was just like, why did I spend that long?
We really hoped, because we made such a big deal of it afterwards, to be like, look, it didn't hurt. You did it. Well done. We rewarded her with like presents and stars on a star chart.
And even just like positive reinforcement, being like, aren't you clever? Didn't you do a good job?
We really thought that hopefully that would mean next time she might have got it. But we've had this like 2 more times since then. This morning, before going to nursery, preschool, we had exactly the same.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Whew. And afterwards, she's so proud of herself.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why do we have to get to this point?
I know.
So now I'm dreading every time she's due a poo. And like a dread of what are we going to do, because...
We'll get through it.
So, yeah.
Anyway, that's our going on at the moment. I'm sure there'll be a new struggle on the horizon.
I'm sure there will.
And we'll talk about it on the podcast. Hey, this is Editing Elliot, just jumping in to update you. Literally 2 days after we've recorded this conversation, we've completely switched with the problem. Lily's completely gotten over it and is now so excited to do a poo that she does one nearly 6 times a day, like every time she goes to the toilet. And we have the opposite problem where we're trying to make sure that she doesn't, go every time and not forcing it and hurting herself. But I think we were just so enthusiastic with our congratulating her when she was successful that it's problem solved, but created a new a new thing in the process. On with the episode. Repeat yourself for the 100th time to your toddler and let's jump into some conversation. Well, I'm particularly unprepared today. I've not got any notes or any thoughts, so we'll see what happens. The say stimulus, is that the right word? Inspiration, yeah. Kicking us off because recently we've had Lily's 4th birthday party.
We have.
She turns 4 in about a week and a half or so.
Yeah.
In fact, probably
less by the time this
when this comes out, it's probably about when her birthday is, on an undisclosed date that we won't announce. And yeah, so we had a birthday party, and so we thought it was a good opportunity to chat all about kids' birthday parties.
Yeah.
Maybe we can touch on adult birthdays.
Yeah, true.
Parties, I don't know, stuff. We'll see where the conversation goes.
Yeah. Start at the very beginning.
It's a very good place to start.
So we did do those month cards,
Oh, yeah.
Lola, we haven't really done that much with.
Well, I've kept up trying to do little photos
You've done a good
with
job.
her on, I am 1 month old, 2 months old.
Yeah, it's true.
My parents particularly love the dates. They're always like, happy 6th month birthday, Lola.
They're really into dates, though.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just not really our thing.
Well, I think we're just... To me, it's more like their development. So I'm more like, oh, they can do this now, rather than like their age and stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, like when they're 1 and stuff, it's fun. But,
I mean, talking of that, that's obviously the first birthday. We, again, we don't really mark it particularly. We didn't with Lily. We could have a conversation about what we're going to do with Lola.
I think we're going to have to with Lola because Lily's very excited that Lola's going to have a birthday. So
interesting. Yeah.
It's going to be a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the first one, literally, I just invited Macy, Lily's little friend. There's a week apart. Basically, I was like, do you want to come round? I've made some little, I think they were like avocado cupcakes for the girls to have. And it can be like Lily's little party. And literally all that happened was the 2 babies sat eating like these cupcakes.
Well, I mean, they're one.
And me and Vicky just sat chatting.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't particularly special. There wasn't decorations.
Yeah. I know some people go all out and,
And I
enjoy
do
it, but...
get it. I think people who've had like problems conceiving and they've really wanted, I'm not saying we don't really want our children, we do, but we haven't had that struggle.
Yeah, it's true.
So I think their birthdays in some ways, not to say we don't love them as much, but it's not as big a deal.
Yeah.
Because we're like, oh yeah, we thought this would happen. It's not quite as an emotional roller coaster, I don't think. Whereas for some people, that'll be a huge deal, and I get that.
And I think it was something we talked about very early on, or even before we had kids, that it felt a little consumerist and just like they're not going to remember it. It's not really for the kid, is it? It's for you as the parent.
Which,
and
like
if you
said,
enjoy it, that's fine.
There's no need really to go all out for a party. We've marked it. We've had a nice little time. And then we can say, oh, you did have a little party. You would one of your friends come over.
As a 1-year-old, you don't really have other friends particularly in the same way. Like you can't really talk or say who your friends are or
play with other children.
Yeah, they just kind of...
So, but I think this time around it will be different because Lily's very excited for Lola to have a birthday. Lily's already talking about what cake we can get her.
Yeah, I'd not thought of that particularly. What do you think? Do you think we'll still, we can make a bigger deal of it, have a cake and a little party, but still probably in our house?
Oh,
probably
yeah. I don't think
maybe even just us, or we invite at least some close family. Or
not a lot of people because it's just really for Lily's benefit to believe that Lola's had a birthday party.
I mean, this is the other dilemma, isn't it? That you have friends and family who may have a different opinion. I'm particularly thinking like the grandparents are all really keen to come and be like, let's celebrate. And it's like, well, we're not really having a party.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the same then it trickles down into like presents. At like age 1, I'm like, well, they don't really need anything. We've got a lot of toys.
With Lily, we literally said we don't want any presents. Yeah. And I think we'll do the same this time round for Lola, unless there's something in particular she needs. But because she's a second born, poor kid, like she has most of the stuff that was Lily's old stuff.
Already with Lily, I think at 1 we felt our house was just full of stuff.
Yeah. And
it's got worse since then.
If people have 2 children, they know that the second one only wants the first one's stuff anyway. So like, poor Lola's only 6 months, but already she's like, yes, Lily's doll, fun. My own toy, no, not interested. That's not the thing the big girl plays with. So I'm like, already I can tell like whatever we get her will not be as fun as her sister's toys. Yeah. But I know like other cultures celebrate it a lot more.
Oh,
like
really?
Like, do you remember our friends who their little boy was half Chinese? They made a huge deal because you remember they get to pick like there's like 4 objects and you get to pick one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell it poorly because I can't quite remember, but like their significance or anything. I'm sure somebody who's from that kind of cultural background. I'm sure they'll know.
Don't trust anything we say.
But basically, in other cultures, it's a way bigger deal.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to know from others what they do with when their child turns 1.
Shall we move on to age 2?
Sure, yeah.
This time for Lily, just people are going to get confused because Lily and Lola are similar names. Lily, big kid. Lola, baby. So big kid, Lily. When she was 2, we had quite a big party for that.
You're right, we did have quite a big second birthday, didn't we?
I think that's because she started having friends and I was excited. Honestly, it was mainly like a social occasion to meet up with other parents so I could
I think we have a long time ago talked about this on the podcast, that I think particularly you were very keen to throw a party, and so we're like, let's throw a big second birthday party. Yeah.
And we did like a Bluey and Bingo theme.
All Bluey and Bingo.
Yeah, it was really good. Didn't have like organised entertainment. We just had toys around the room.
So we booked the church hall.
Yeah.
Obviously we are part of the church and go to church, so it was quite a good venue for us to utilise. And I remember I drove over to Leeds and picked up those cardboard Bluey and Bingo cutouts.
Yes, that somebody had done for another party.
Yeah.
And I remember so many people were like, oh, you're so clever making those. And I was too guilty to pretend I'd made them.
I kept
having to go, they're from Facebook Marketplace. And people were so disappointed. I should have just gone like, oh yeah. I'm really talented.
I mean, it's very believable that it's the sort of thing you could have made.
No, honestly, I think I could have made them, but I didn't want to I felt awkward taking gratitude for somebody else's things.
I mean, they were big.
They were big.
Bluey and Bingo cutouts. I mean, there was one with the whole family. It was very impressive.
Oh, yeah.
It was a good thing for the party.
And then somebody got them off us for another Bingo and Bluey party,
we passed them on, didn't we?
Yeah. So that was good use of,
We took some Bluey and Bingo invites into nursery.
We did.
And basically invited the whole of her nursery room, I think.
Yeah, because at that point, we had no idea who her friends were.
No,
she couldn't really express
we
that.
didn't have a relationship with any other parents.
No.
So we were just like, well, let's just invite everyone.
Invite everyone.
An excuse to get to know everyone.
Yeah. And it was really good, actually. And like we invited our neighbour and we like invited our old neighbours because they'd moved. And that was really nice. Because we're part of the church, it didn't cost a lot of money to rent. We always do this, which is not a sponsor. Morrison's party food. We normally always do that, don't we?
Yes, I would say... I mean, we can come to this with our recent party, but it is more suited to like adult parties than kids parties. But yeah, we've always gone down the route, and maybe it's just because we're like little hippie country bumpkin type people that we don't like buy in a lot of packaged stuff. We tend to, like, in terms of entertainment, in terms of parties, we tend to like, let's just bodge everything ourselves and make our own food, bring our own stuff, like do our own decorations. We like kind of that personal, like, if we have the time. I think the challenge is time.
Yeah, I always get some party food that's pre-made by Morrison's, like they organise it for you, and just because it's easier, and then you can just turn up and take it.
It's like cakes, you know. I think with that one, you made...
I always
made a cake.
Yeah, so like you always make them for my birthday. I always make them for the kids.
Yeah. I find it funny because like I'm often the chief cake baker in our house.
And you're the better cake baker.
But
I don't
for
know
some
how
reason, you do all the birthday
parties. Because I'm like the creative cake baker.
You're much better at decorating than I am. I can bake a good cake, but you are fantastic at making it look pretty. And that one especially was like... You'd made some blue jelly and it had like a pool. So if anyone knows the pool episode in Bluey, it was like after that one. So there was like a little beach and a pool, and like we put our Bluey and Bingo figures on the top of the cake.
Somebody's waking up.
Lola, it's too early. You're mid-podcast.
Oh, Lola. Yes. So you're not grabbing the microphone. You're not. Stop that smiling. Don't just smiling. And even for like each other, we make each other's birthday cakes. I don't think we've ever bought a cake. And that's not because like I don't look down on people who would buy a cake. It's a lot easier. I think it's nice to have like that excitement and like the personal touch. I kind of go to Lily like, what cake would you like? And then she has like the freedom. Yes, Lola, smiley girl. Just we're pausing the podcast momentarily for Lola to do a wee on the potty. Good job. Is the nappy dry?
Yeah.
Yeah, put it back on then, Lola. Now, Lola, Mummy and Daddy are a bit busy, so are you going to be good and play on the floor? Right, so, hopefully back to the conversation.
I feel like a lot of this ties into, we're quite arts and craftsy type people.
Yeah.
If people know, like when we started this podcast, we used to make an arts and craft. Can you not do things that are noisy?
Oh,
Emma?
sorry. Playing with the baby.
We used to do an arts or craft activity for each episode, and we'd film it, and that's on YouTube. That's what we'd use as part of this little project. Each episode we'd do a little relax with a little. Since having two kids, we've ditched that a little bit because it's been too much of a challenge.
That's just fell to the wayside.
But something that we enjoy doing and are passionate about. Probably through this, you'll see some of that in how we approach doing parties. Because, some of that, it's just a bit of fun. Like, I think we quite enjoy I'm quite a designery type person. I enjoy designing invites and laying out rooms and doing colours. And, I'm a creative person in that regard. And that sort of stuff I find quite fun. Doing balloons and balloon arches and... That sort of thing is up my street, my cup of tea. How many people do you think came to a second birthday?
I'm trying to think how many children. Was there about 15 children probably?
I think it's more than that.
I think more, I think closer to 20. It was a lot of children.
And the grandparents came.
They did.
And godparents came.
Yep. So
it was a beautiful summer day.
It was, because we did some outdoor activities too that people could do. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing with Lily. She has a summer birthday. And
so it is nice weather.
It is often nice weather, which is, quite nice. It'll be interesting with Lola because she's got a winter birthday.
Yeah.
What that means for parties and stuff and what it is. In all cases, we rarely celebrate on the day itself.
Yes.
Like we've already said, we're not a big we don't have a big thing for dates particularly.
And also, like, the children don't know the date.
No, they don't know, do they?
Like, Lily is already convinced because it's been her 4th birthday, she is 4.
Yeah,
and I'm
so
like,
we let her
that's
think she's
fine.
4.
You're 4. Like, it's
Yeah.
only a week and a bit away. That's going
Yeah.
to make a difference.
Yeah. So nearly all of them have been like a weekend at some point close to the birthday where we've celebrated, had a party. I think that's pretty standard.
Yeah, I think everybody, you choose a weekend, it's whenever's close.
She enjoyed it a lot. I mean, again, at that age, she wasn't entirely aware of what's going on or what it meant or what her age was.
Thought the cake was very exciting because she wanted the jelly to fall all over. Yeah. They were a bit disappointed that the jelly had stayed in place. Yeah, and she liked like looking at Bluey and Bingo. Once again, like she had close friends but not best friends, so it was like that's why there was a lot of people.
At that age, one of the big challenges was that it's a long day. Like it's quite, it's quite tough on them. Seeing all these people, there's a lot of people to interact with. Often it's like there's a lot of people she likes there, but equally it means she's splitting her energy between a lot of different people.
And it made us all laugh because the kids did that typical thing where they're like all friends at nursery, and then when they see each other in like the wild as such, they all just stare at each other. Like eventually they all played together again, but they did that thing where they're like, why are you outside of like where I know you are?
Yeah. So I think we've got some like pictures, and like the kids do look quite bedraggled, and like by the end of the day they're kind of, the faces are red and kind of tired, and not the best time often, the party, to get like nice family photos or that sort of stuff. I think at nearly all the parties I've done the typical dad thing of like hide at the back and like sort out food and drink, and like I'm not one for socializing.
Yeah, no, he always shoves me out the front and he's like, welcome people, talk to them.
For the past 2 years, Emma has been saying, we talk about like people at nursery and parents, and she goes, they were at Lily's 2nd birthday. Do you not remember who they were? There was so-and-so's mum was there. We talked to it, and I was like, I have no clue.
No.
I glanced around the room, then look at my feet, and then I don't.
Yeah. Whereas it was really useful for me because it gave me like context of different people and their families. So when I was talking to nature, I was like, oh yes, I remember from the birthday party.
So we focused a lot on birthday number 2 because we did do a big thing for it, and
we did.
Focused a lot on it. We've also recently been to her cousin Sophie's 2nd birthday as well, haven't we?
Yes, and Lily had much disappointment because there was no pass the parcel.
No pass the parcel. Yeah, she's become, I think because of Bluey, rather not obsessed. Like she's just adamant. Really into it.
She's like, well, parties have passed the parcel. Yeah. That's like a staple of a good party.
That's what a party is.
And it really made us laugh because it wasn't until we were like in the car going to Sophie's party, she went, so Sophie could have passed the parcel. And I was like, I don't know, but I mean, there's only like 4 kids, including Lola, or maybe 5 kids. But I was like, not really old kids. Yeah. I don't think they are going to have passed the parcel.
So Kirsty approached it in a different way, didn't she, as a 2nd birthday? Again, they don't really know what's going on at that age. So it was more like a family get-together.
It was, it was nice.
So less of a like kids party.
Yeah.
And more of a like the whole family gets together to celebrate. So there's actually the adults outnumbered the kids like quite a lot. Yeah. Which is fun. It's just a different way to do it, isn't it? And
and it was a really nice day, actually. It made us laugh, though, because, like, Sophie just wanted to play with Lily. She wasn't interested in seeing anybody else because it's her big cousin, so she kind of idolises her. And I say that, Lily really loves Sophie. So they just kind of played together. Because afterwards, Kirsty was laughing, like, was there any point inviting anybody else? Because, like, Sophie would have been as happy just on a play date with Lily.
Yeah. And I mean, we often on the podcast talk about the challenges and the struggles and the difficulties in life with parenting. But I feel like these birthdays, they can be a bit stressful.
But they're one of the fun bits.
But they are certainly a highlight, I think. You often look back and, remember those moments, particularly when you're getting together with lots of people that you like to be around. It's a lot of fun. On the topic of pass the parcel, what's your favourite thing to do at a party, Emma? What's your ideal party?
Ideal for me?
Yeah. Oh. It's a little question for you.
I don't know if I've ever got past...
Are you a going out clubbing sort of girl?
No.
That's a very definite no.
I think that was a very brief time in my life. Maybe a year.
Are you like cheese and wine, like sit around drinking sort of person?
Right, I'm just not that sophisticated. Okay. So I'm going to say I don't think I've ever like developed beyond like my ideal party being like a bowling party.
I was going to say, when I think of you, I do think of like, you have very childish interests. You're very like playful sort of person.
I'd be like, let's go bowling. And I mean, it'd be a bit more grown up. You could have beer or something nice to drink and like snacks. I like fun.
Yeah.
And to me, having a meal is fun. Don't get me wrong. And especially at the minute.
Nice little family meal.
Going out at all, fun.
Yeah.
Going out by yourself without your kids, also fun. But no, I like something interactive like bowling or something.
So you'd enjoy a kids' party with Pass the Parcel.
That's what I mean. I love kids' parties. Because I've told you, I haven't matured. My idea of fun is still in that like quite childlike thing. What's your ideal party? Are you a bit more mature?
Expect from me, I'd probably enjoy staying home and not seeing anyone at all. No party for me, thanks. I do significantly remember when I turned 18, my parents tried to throw me a surprise party and invite loads of like different people from different stages in my life. It was a thing of nightmares. I mean, she put a lot of effort into it. Don't get me wrong. Like, it was, a long day of all sorts of activities. But for me, I hate surprises.
He does. Oh, he doesn't do well with the surprise.
The like weeks leading up to it, I was so stressed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a good time. Yeah. I much preferred. We went on our annual holiday to Cornwall with my childhood friends, and we. My birthday was always in the summer, so we always used to celebrate when we were away on holiday down there. So we did a usual, like, celebrating with them, just like, small group of very deep personal friends. That was much more my cup of tea.
Yeah, whereas growing up, I had to share my party.
Well, of course, you've got 3 other sisters who share your birthday.
Yeah, so I was like, it was when you were like deep and personal. I was like, well, it's kind of personal, but it was like, it's always going to be us 4 together anyway.
Do you always used to celebrate together?
We did.
And then you'd all invite your own friends, so you'd have a mix of people.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We generally all do one activity. I remember one year, Mum was really good, and she did like whatever we wanted to do, so mine was bowling.
Oh, so you did like 4 different activities?
Yeah. Well, no, in the end, I think me and Laura wanted the same thing, so we shared our activity.
Yeah.
And then I think Kirsty Becky did something different. But I think after that year, she was like, that was too much work. We're going down to like one thing again. But like for was it our 18th or 16th? I think it was 18th because we could drink, maybe. There was alcohol there. I'm assuming we were 18. We might not have been. Mum hired, there was a place, if you live in Barnard Castle, there was a place called the Jersey Farm.
Oh, yeah.
And you like hired out a big hall and like they had a bar and drinks. And that was great fun. Admittedly, Laura got drunk straight away and was sent home because she couldn't handle her drink. Then Kirsty got very drunk and was just sat outside kind of having a panic attack. So that meant that it was only me and Becky really, because we're the boringer people, who lasted the whole party and enjoyed ourselves.
The party animals.
The party animals because we were mainly just eating. But it was a great time. Like there was music and we danced and we ate. We're getting on a tangent. But then as adults, we used to go to Disney. The 4 of us. Hasn't happened.
Do a little holiday.
Do a little holiday for like a 3 to 4 days.
Well, yeah, birthdays are kind of a big deal because of the 4 of you. Like it's
like a chance or excuse to see each other.
Because you don't always meet up together in person.
But then since COVID, it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
So
particularly since all of you have had more kids. Anyway, we'll get back onto, because I think we'll come back to adult birthdays in a second when we'll dive back into the kid conversation, and then we'll come back to this because
we'll do a little
there's
circle.
Some little things I want to pick up, particularly because I have a significant birthday coming up.
You do.
If you're enjoying this episode, then please do leave a review, subscribe and turn on notifications, share with a friend who might enjoy it, or go back and check out all the other episodes that we've done. But thank you very much for taking the time to listen through. We'd love this little community to grow and to get to know you, so do engage however is best for you. And while I'm here, if you enjoy getting to know us, then I run various other little projects and initiatives that you might be interested in. If you have similar interests to us, then they might appeal to you. A lot of them are kind of faith and spirituality based through my work. I do a little Disney church video series exploring faith and spirituality in Disney films. I make creative little films and silly little stories with toys or stuff I find around the house, silliness for the soul, or maybe you'd enjoy some art or animation or progressive faith or conversation. I experiment with fun and engaging ways that we can develop conversation starters, particularly for people who, like us, are busy with parenting and don't really get to go to church, or just church isn't for them. It's not the right fit, not the right vibe. I enjoy being creative, and I do this in partnership with the Kairos movement. You can find out more about all these different things over on our webpage, www.kairosmovement.org.uk/don't wake the baby. Or for me, at Elliot Crippen on all the places, the TikToks and the Insta Reels. Moving on to age number 3, we kind of skipped that one.
So I was heavily pregnant.
Yeah, we just couldn't manage it. We were like,
and we were on holiday on Wales for her birthday anyway. So we were like, hey, we're on a holiday in Wales. We got her a little cake. We did candles. We opened some presents.
Kept it simple.
And then that was that. There was no big party.
We felt like we'd thrown a big party the previous year.
Yeah.
I was particularly keen that we weren't setting a trend that like we were going to do this every year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't intentionally like, we don't want to celebrate her 3rd birthday. It was more just, particularly because you were pregnant, just everything was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah. And she loved it anyway, because she liked being on holiday. She liked having a little cake and the candles. I still think because she was 3, she didn't, and there weren't many other kids' parties she'd been to. So like her best friend Emmy, she went to her party. She loved it. But we hadn't gone to loads of parties, so it wasn't quite as big a deal to have a party.
She was a bit more aware that it was her birthday.
Yes.
But like, yeah, definitely we weren't invited to loads of other friends' birthdays at that age. So I think still a little below the age where the kids are fully aware and are into it. And, you know, whereas this year, turning 4, everyone has had a party.
Everyone's had a party.
We have been to so many kids' parties.
I feel like we're now like connoisseurs of kids' parties.
Well, certainly for the under 5s.
Yes, and girls. We haven't been to any boy parties.
We've not been to any boys' parties, only girls. Yeah. I mean, the little girls at her preschool do seem to go around in a little pack.
They do, yeah.
They're a little gang.
Yeah, they're a little gang, yeah.
They don't,
in a nice way, not like, you know.
Well, they don't seem to let boys in.
No, it's true, yeah. They're quite selective.
Oh, right, back. Just got the shopping in from been delivered.
Yep.
A little anecdote for you. They asked me for some ID. I had to give your age because we were buying Cowpole.
Oh! I thought I heard you giving my age, and then I was thinking, well, I haven't bought any alcohol.
No, yeah. Well, got to make sure you're old enough to buy a Cowpole.
Dangerous Cowpole.
Yeah. Anyway, do you want to describe the different birthday parties that Lily's they've been to? We've kind of taken turns, haven't we, going?
Yes. Normally there is a princess there who like runs the entertainment. Normally Elsa or Anna, they're the popular ones.
So there seems to be a common theme with how people have organised these.
Yes.
That everyone's bought in these companies to run the party with the ladies that dress up as the princesses and do games and
like sing songs and and then there seems to be, depending where it is, like one of them we went to didn't really have much food. You had a little cake. Most of the others I think we've been to all had food. Ironically, only one of them's had Pass the Parcel.
Because say quite a lot of them haven't had it.
No.
Yeah. I don't think it's part of the packaged thing that the people
even though
provide.
it's under Lily's definition of a good party. But you know, she seemed to excuse it at other people's parties.
We've definitely got into this, you know, the age of, you know, buying these packages for parties and taking a whole load of kids and going and do something, whether it's a venue that you pick, like we've been to a few at a church. Some have been at like a specific venue that offer party packages. Some are at like play places. We've been to parties at, soft play centres and things like that.
Yeah, true, yeah.
So all that sort of thing. But that often comes with a fairly hefty price tag. Often paying per child or for a group of children. So there's an interesting one there, isn't it? About how, I don't know, how much you're willing to spend on a kid's birthday at this age.
And I think I get it, because I think a lot of us now, A, normally have multiple children. B, we got to the point where entertaining the children takes quite a lot of work at this age now.
And it's a lot of effort to throw a party.
Yeah.
To be able to pay someone
not
to
in
just
a mean way,
do
but
it.
at 2, they're kind of not passive, but they don't expect as much entertaining. Whereas I feel like at 4, they're used to quite a high level of entertainment.
Yeah.
So you kind of do need to have a thing.
Yeah. A thing to do.
A thing to do, yeah.
And it's become big business, hasn't it? Like
it has,
all these venues we go to, all these activities and days out to these, whatever it is, a farm park, a funny little place. So, nearly all of them offer birthday packages. Come bring a group of children, come and have your party here. They got a little space where you can go and sit and have food.
She's just trying to put the whole packet of these melty sticks on her head. Here you go. And I even find myself looking, like when we go to a place and they say they do parties, I'm like, oh, how much is it? Is it an option?
Yeah.
They know their market.
Yeah, definitely. We're busy, we're tired.
Yeah.
Just, if you can hire somewhere that can just put it on.
And take the stress of you organising everything. Yeah.
Can offer the food and the cake, and
I
can see the appeal of doing all that, certainly. Yeah. And definitely a lot of her friends are. And this is the other thing though, isn't it? Like, Lily's now very aware all her friends have had parties and what that looks like. And there's like almost as parents a bit of pressure then.
Yeah.
It's like, how do we match up to everyone else?
Yeah, what's your party going to be like?
Do we feel pressure to throw a party, to pay all this money for a party? How good are the party bags?
Yeah.
Just like, there's a lot of comparing.
And it's like, I wasn't going, so this time, this party, we did a squishy party. So we got a local lady from a shop called Painting Pots who does squishy parties, and she comes along and everybody gets to make a squishy.
So we've done something quite different from at least what we've experienced everyone else doing. And do you want to explain what a squishy is?
If people don't know, let's pretend
before
you
the
don't.
pie, I had no idea what a squishy
They're
was.
so popular nowadays. He's not with the times.
I'm not with it. I'm a little old man.
He is. So they're basically these, I can't really explain what one is. It's like a fluffy toy in a kind of roundish shape.
A big squishy toy.
Big squishy toy, and they're called squishies. They're normally animals. Sometimes they're food. It's a very odd thing.
They have a particular look and style, don't they?
They do,
where they're like a big egg.
Yeah.
But it has
I wouldn't be surprised if they originated from Japan or somewhere. Like, I feel like that's probably where their style came from.
Once again, I've no clue, and I can't be bothered to look it up.
No, yeah. Basically, though, we had a squishy party. Because my main thing was, I was tempted by the Elsa parties, but I looked into it and I thought it was quite expensive. And also, a lot of it made the child be the centre of attention. And Lily is not the best at having that much attention put on her.
She's very sociable, but she's not.
And she's happy at other people's parties generally. Sometimes she needs warming up, but generally she's just happy participating.
Yeah.
But not having the limelight on her.
She doesn't want to be at the front.
No. So I remember when I was thinking about parties, I was like, what could she do where she could be involved, but it's not too much attention?
This is when you're a good mum, because you've catered the party specifically to Lily, and it's hard because Lily loves Frozen.
Oh, she does.
And the temptation would be to do it. And I also worried that she'd been to 4 or 5 other parties that were almost cookie cutter in what they'd done. That she would then think, when we were saying your birthday party, she would think it was going to look exactly like that.
Well, this one I kept saying, because she kept saying, is Cinderella going to be there? And I was going, no, there's going to be no Cinderella. But it's helpful because we're going to Disney at Christmas. So I kept being like, Christmas, you'll see Cinderella.
Yeah.
This isn't that occasion. But no, she really enjoyed it. And once I explained, she's like her parents. She doesn't like surprises. So I did this whole of, this is the squishies you'll get to choose from. It's the lady from Painting Pots. You know her. She's going to come. There's going to be these things. And then she was really excited because she knew the venue, what was happening. She requested a ballerina cake because she loves ballet.
Yeah. We did have a general kind of princessy pink theme.
Yeah.
Because she's very into all that, as much as all of our efforts in a young age to be a lot more gender neutral.
And be like, you can like lots of other things.
She's a very girly girl.
She's definitely a firm girly girl. Are you trying to do a poo? Oh, yeah. Can you put her on the potty? Sorry, this whole podcast is going to be us putting her on the potty.
Okay, back again. Poo dealt with.
Promise, hopefully that's the last talk of poo in this podcast.
So you made another cake for Lily's 4th birthday. Do you want to talk about that?
That was a ballerina cake, and it was pink with sparkles and a ballerina on the top.
And most notably, we had Pass the Parcel.
We did have Pass the Parcel.
Lily was very excited.
She was. I made it with Lily's help. Lily was very excited.
The big question on everyone's minds.
Yeah.
Did you do Lucky Dad's rules?
No, we didn't. We did have a better prize in the middle, but there was a prize in every layer.
Well, I think the British way particularly is like a middle ground that isn't put a present in every layer, and it isn't only have one layer in the middle. It's have little kind
sweetie
of token
things,
gifts in each layer, but then you still have a bigger present in the middle.
Yeah.
Did that work okay?
Yeah, it did. Went down very well, actually. She really wanted to win it because she knew what was in the middle.
Yeah. Who did win it?
Jimon.
Ah.
Lily's boyfriend, if people don't know. She is, not serious, but she's got a little Polish boy that she says is her boyfriend. But I could tell, when I was like, it's the last layer, I could see her face, and her holding it for slightly too long, and I wanted to be like, you're not going to win it. It's your birthday. Somebody else has to win it. And they all were really good. Nobody was really sad that he got the main prize.
Yeah.
It all worked well.
Well, I can't even remember. What was the main prize?
It was top trumps, but they were squishy related.
Oh, yeah, that was it. It was a good one. Fitted with the theme.
Went with the theme.
It was hilarious. It was that typical thing where it started fairly tame. Everyone was kind of, again, a little unsure of each other, even though 80% of people knew each other because they were nursery friends. But then slowly as the afternoon progressed, things got a bit wilder.
Oh, they got wild.
By the end, they were running around I don't know what, just like they were high on sugar and just running aimlessly, whacking the people that were running the party
with their squishies. I mean, what's more fun, really?
Yeah. It was hilarious, but lots of high energy. So yeah, good fun. Got lots of lovely little videos from that we can look back on to celebrate her party. Yeah,
I keep watching back. This is because I'm a sentimental creature. When they all sing Happy Birthday because it's so cute. And then I'm trying to blow out the candle, and cousin Sophie, bless, is trying to help blow out the candle.
Yeah, the kids can never blow out the candles,
and it's so funny because they're doing the same face as they're blowing, where they're going and not blowing out, they're blowing up their own lip.
It's like when you try and get a kid to blow their nose. It's very hit and miss if they can actually do it or not. That was something we did particularly different from some of the other parties. We did keep it fairly small.
We did, yeah. So once again, that was catered to Lily doesn't like too many people.
Not too overwhelming. So there were 12 or 13 of her little kind of toddler friends.
There was 12 of them collectively.
Yeah.
So 11 friends.
Then a few siblings.
Yeah.
And then the parents and mums that came along with them.
Yeah.
And it was a nice number in the hall there.
It was, yeah.
I think the biggest one we've gone to was the one I took Lily to, which was there were 40 kids.
Wow,
it was it was big. It was very chaotic, but I was impressed how well they managed to manage all the kids. Let's touch on presents again before we move on.
Yes.
So we talked a little about at one, we were kind of a bit anti-presents. This time, people were very good. They're very generous.
Very generous. They have been ever since we had the second birthday party, actually.
Yeah.
People are really generally
we do live in a fancy area.
We do, yeah.
And we've got some lovely friends and lovely people at nursery and preschool. And so you always wonder whether you're going to get the same presents, how well people are going to know your kid, whether they're going to know their interests. We only had a few people ask about ideas. But do you want to say what we got Lily?
We got her a Cinderella outfit.
Yeah. Lily has a lot of dressing up dresses.
She loves, if anybody knows Lily, it is rare she is not in a princess dress of some sort.
Yeah.
But she's very particular. It has to be very accurate to the film.
Yeah. We're slowly collecting them all, building up a collection, a set.
And then she'll grow out of them. We'll be back to stage one.
I'm very excited because we're beginning to get into the phase of enjoying Lego.
Yes.
And so we got some Lego toys, which was a bit fun. I have a massive back collection of Lego from when I was young and also as an adult collecting. I love a bit of Lego. But of course, my stuff is all, boring boy Lego. And Lily wants princesses.
We didn't even consider it, really. And then when she started getting into Lego, she was... Lego. She was complaining to Elliot. She was like, why is there no pink bricks? And he was like, no, there isn't. And she was
like, where's Elsa?
Yeah. Oh, what also amused me is that she was insisting that she had to have a party bag at her own party.
Yeah.
Really? Because you're going to get a lot of toys, and she's going, but I want a party bag.
Yeah,
and I was
so
like,
sweet.
Okay, then.
She's been carrying it around all week, this little party bag.
And she's
from her own party.
Good because she was so excited to help set stuff up. So she was excited to help me do the party bags.
We had vastly underestimated how much time and effort it was to actually decorate and set up when you've got 2 kids to look after at the same time. I went down a bit early with Lily, and she was so good helping me move chairs and tables about and bringing stuff in from the car. She was excited and like running around, but not like
not disruptive.
She was really good.
And she'd been like drawing pictures that she wanted us to put on the wall at her party.
We had a back collection of pictures she'd drawn over the last like 3-4 months. Every time she'd drawn, she's like, I want to take this to my party.
I want to decorate my party. You're like, oh, great.
So we had a big wall where we just pinned up Lily's pictures, which felt a little like self-indulgent and a little egotistical, but you know.
It's what she wanted.
It's her party. I mean, we debated about like even if we were going to do party bags, because again, it's another expense and faff on.
Yeah.
But we did do it in the end.
Well, I think we really catered it to what Lily wanted, which I know some people are like, kids can't always get what they want. But I'm also like, she's mature enough now to like have a set idea in her head of what to her makes it a fun party.
Yeah, she chose which friends were invited because obviously we had a limited number. We just asked her who.
Like the theme, like a lot of stuff she had a say in.
You sometimes forget she's only like a 4-year-old. Like she's
sometimes like so. She can express herself like a 6-year-old sometimes with like.
We were discussing the other day, weren't we? We were saying before we were parents, when you thought of like what a 4-year-old was.
You thought they were so little.
Yeah. Whereas now, like in my head, I'm like, oh, 4's quite a big girl.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, this one particularly, we were like, this is a kids' party, and we did like treat it as such. So again, quite in the opposite way to the sort of like family get all the adults together party. Like this one particularly, we didn't invite any additional adults. So even as far as like even the grandparents didn't come to this one because we were like, well, there's nothing for you to do because it's literally it's a kid's birthday party.
And I'd get if there was more stuff to help organise or activities, but because it's kind of all done for you, I'm like, we can separate separately with them and do something more suited to them.
And particularly in our context, both the sets of parents, they don't live around the corner.
No, yeah.
They have to like drive an hour and a half to get here.
Yeah.
To like just come stand in a corner. At a part, like, you know,
and Lily
it'd be nice to see them, but
it would, and in a nice way possible. Lily wouldn't give them attention because she'd be running around with her friends, like, do you know what I mean? It's not quality time that you could have as a quality occasion for another separate birthday celebration.
Yeah. So just how we approached all that. There we go. That's a bit of a summary of what happened. Oh, I was going to mention it was very sweet that like all week Lily's been taking different presents into preschool for show and tell. And also the other kids in preschool have been taking their squishies in for show and tell from Lily's party.
Yeah, no, that's been really sweet.
Yeah. Oh,
and so many of the parents, they were like, oh, she's like, loves the squishy. She's been taking it to bed. And I was like, it's so nice they got something from the party that's quite like loved, you know, and it feels special.
It was nice there was something they could take away with them.
Yeah. But this is why I didn't want to do party bags, because I was like, they're already getting a squishy.
Yeah, it's a good point.
But Lily was adamant, at a party you have party bags.
Yeah, that was her thing of a party. Yeah, pass the parcel and you have party bags. There you go. I feel like it's very reminiscent of like the 90s style parties, isn't it? That have kind of come back in and like...
They have, yeah.
It's what, you know, it's what we liked, so it's what we replicate now. There we go. Well, let's move us on and touch very briefly at the end here, back into the conversation about us as adults, as our... now we're no longer having little kids parties in the 90s, but we don't really have parties anymore, but what do we do to celebrate birthday? We said, didn't we, you often meet up at Disneyland with your sisters.
We haven't done for the last like 3-4 years.
Well, the last one was probably your 30th where we went for your big you
Oh, that's true. That's only like 2 years ago actually.
Yeah. I'm not going to Disneyland for my 30th, which is this summer. Well, you asked what I wanted to do for my 30th. And I basically was like, I want to go on a boat.
Yeah.
So we did...
Originally, I was going, let's have a big party, like a boat party. And it was like, I don't want other people.
I was like, you're going to invite other people on the boat? Like, originally, my idea was like, we could go like, I don't know, hire a big boat and go on like a trip or something.
Like a canal or something. Canal boat,
Go like around the Norfolk Broads or I don't know, something. I mean, that since we've had a second kid, I mean, this was a conversation we had like 2 or 3 years ago, is basically become completely impossible. But we're still doing boating. If you don't know, I'm a big boat boy, boat fan. I'm not picky. Not picky. Any boat will do. I can sail. I like a kayak, canoe. I like a good rowing boat. Just get me in the water. I want to be on the water. And so where there's no people. I want my family to be there though. But you've taking me away for a lovely little extended weekend. You found a place you've booked where we get to stay in a boathouse and go boating on the private little lake that's right on our doorstep, and which is going to be fun little weekend away.
Do you want to tell them this is such an Emma thing to do? So I booked it about 2 years ago in preparation. This is how prepared I've been.
Yeah, Emma's very organised.
Paid for it all.
Yeah.
I was like, I think it was earlier this year, I was going, I better relook at that and just check all the details. Couldn't find the email anywhere.
We were discussing it a few months back, and we were like, well, we know we're going to some like lake thing, a boathouse,
kind of private estate thing.
Like, neither of us could remember what it was called, where it was.
And I kept being like, oh, it's fine, I'll have it in my emails. Could not find it in my emails. Could find a screenshot I'd taken, but the screenshot didn't say where it was. It showed the amount I'd paid and said, like, if you have any questions, please call this number. Anyway, I was in hysterics, and Elliot said, what is it? And I was like, I can't really call them up and go, where the hell are you?
What is this thing?
What have I booked? I have no idea. I was like, that'll be really embarrassing. So luckily, we found out what we booked.
But we were like a whole day we were in hysterics because we were like, we've booked this thing. We're
going to have to call them up and be like, I don't know what I've booked.
Where it is, how to find it.
Where is it?
Yeah.
So if anyone knows me, that's just generally what I'm like.
I'm a, young little boy just turning 30.
Just turning 30.
Yeah, at least I'll be in with the 30 gang now.
You will,
all our friends, or
all
I'm
friends,
like the last people to turn 30. Feels like, to me at least. I know most other dads seem to be celebrating their 40th this year. So
yeah, true.
I'm just a little duckling trying to keep up with everyone. So we've certainly done the opposite thing, where we've booked a very adult type thing, and we'll see if the kids manage and have a nice time. It'll be nice. They'll enjoy it.
There is a play park there, so like if all else fails, Daddy can go boating and Mummy will take them to the play park.
You know what it's going to be? It's going to be like pouring with rain. We'll be stuck in this little cabin.
I keep dreading that it's going to rain the whole time, and then I'm going to be like, you get out on that water. I paid good money for us to be here. And then the kids were going, although Lily really wants it to rain at the minute. If people are in the UK, it's been really nice weather. Probably by the time this comes out, it won't be. But for the past few days, Lily was so excited because it was meant to rain yesterday. And she kept going, oh, and I can jump in the puddles. And I was like, yeah, you can. Did it rain? No. Now she's desperate for it to rain.
So there we go. That's all about birthdays. A rather jolly episode.
Yeah. I quite enjoyed talking about it.
Yeah. It's been nice chatting with you.
I was trying to even remember what I did for my birthday. It wasn't that long ago, but my memory's like not what it used to be.
I normally do a theme for your parties.
Did we have a theme this year?
We
did. It was Studio Ghibli party.
Yeah, I did a Studio Ghibli party.
Your cake was really
I made
impressive.
a Totoro cake. How could you forget it?
You forgot.
Shh, don't tell anyone that.
It was a very impressive cake.
Yeah.
Right.
Had all Studio Ghibli.
If people are interested, we can add a photo at some point. It was really good.
All your presents are on the same theme. If you don't know what we're on about, don't worry. Most people we talk to don't seem to know what Studio Ghibli is.
I didn't think it was as niche anymore, but clearly it is.
Clearly is.
I'm disappointed in people. That's what I am.
Japanese anime.
Yeah.
Like cartoon things. Because Emma's is a kid at heart.
I'm a big kid.
Well, thank you for joining us today in the conversation.
So I'm running out of steam now. I'm getting tired.
Yeah, it's the end of the party. Everyone's packing up and going home.
Yeah, Lily's gone off in a corner to sit by herself because she's partied out.
It's been a long day. There's this rather anticlimactic ending.
Go take your party bag.
Yeah, here's your party bag. Be gone.
Thank you for coming.
Come again next time to the party. Well, before Lola snogs the microphone, let's wrap things up. God bless, sleep well. This has been Don't Wake the Baby.
Don't Wake the Baby. I feel like it's ironic now that Lola always wakes up halfway through our recording.